For decades, doctors warned you the potato is a deadly, blood sugar spiking poison. They lied. You can forcefully mutate this toxic sugar bomb into an unbreakable, gut-healing medicine. Watch until the absolute end to unlock the profound molecular hack that will permanently rewrite your metabolic destiny. For decades, the traditional medical establishment has aggressively drilled a terrifying narrative into our minds, a mechanical warning repeated until it became absolute dogma. If you are over 60, or if you are staring down the barrel of a diabetes diagnosis, the potato is your ultimate enemy, a deadly poison. And on the surface, looking strictly at the raw clinical data, this terrifying verdict seems perfectly justified. An ordinary baked potato possesses a glycemic index that violently swings between 85 and 90. When you consume it, within 30 agonizingly short minutes, it possesses the brutal biochemical power to shatter your blood sugar ceiling. It triggers a violent metabolic roller coaster, a physiological crisis where the glucose flooding your veins surges more violently than if you had just swallowed a heaping tablespoon of pure, refined white sugar. But what if I told you that you have been living a lie? What if I revealed that this terrifying spike is not an inevitable fate, but merely a biological choice? There is a profound biochemical secret that has been systematically hidden in plain sight. Through remarkably simple physical and molecular interventions, taking no more than 5 minutes of preparation, you hold the absolute power to fundamentally mutate the potato's starch structure. You can forcefully command this perceived poison to release up to 50% less glucose into your bloodstream. At Healthy Aging US warmly welcomes you to a journey of medical awakening and profound biochemical mastery. If you are exhausted by superficial health advice and are ready to uncover the absolute truth about your cellular biology, please hit that subscribe button right now to support our channel, giving us the immense motivation to continue bringing you these life-saving, deeply researched biological revelations in the future. Why has your trusted physician never whispered a word of this molecular manipulation to you? The tragic answer lies in the deeply broken architecture of modern medicine. The average clinical consultation lasts a mere 7 to 10 minutes. That fleeting window is barely enough time to scribble a prescription for synthetic insulin or metformin, let alone guide you through the miraculous dynamics of enzymatic inhibition or starch retrogradation. My absolute mission today is to tear down these medical walls, arming you with the elite knowledge of a clinical biochemist. But to conquer the potato, you must first confront the silent tragedy unfolding inside your own biology. I want you to close your eyes and visualize your body as a pristine, closed-loop fish tank. Chronic, skyrocketing blood sugar is not just a number on a lab report. It is a relentless, toxic pollution of that very water. When the living organisms inside that tank, your precious cells, begin to suffocate and fall ill, modern medicine arrogantly attempts to throw synthetic chemical pills into the water to cure the fish, completely ignoring the fundamental necessity of cleaning the poisoned water itself. When you consume a potato incorrectly, you are dumping a massive, unmitigated avalanche of pure glucose into your bloodstream within 15 short minutes. Your pancreas, acting as the desperate guardian of your life, is thrown into a state of absolute biological panic. It frantically pumps out an overwhelming flood of the hormone insulin, desperately trying to sweep this toxic sugar away. However, for those carrying excess weight or bearing the metabolic scars of aging, your cellular membranes have become tragically deaf. This is the silent killer known as insulin resistance. Insulin furiously knocks on the cellular doors, but the cells stubbornly refuse to open. The glucose remains trapped, floating freely, highly reactive, and devastatingly toxic, heavily polluting your internal fish tank. The tragic secondary consequence is a pancreas that tortures itself, pumping out 3 to 4 times its normal capacity, leading to a catastrophic sugar crash that leaves you trembling, exhausted, and desperately craving more carbohydrates just 2 hours later. If you force your body to endure this violent abuse year after year, it leads to the ultimate tragedy of beta cell exhaustion, the terrifying, irreversible point of no return where you are officially chained to type 2 diabetes. The true molecular villain behind this entirely preventable tragedy is the native structure of the potato itself, heavily concentrated with amylopectin. This is a starch built with highly branched, loose structures, resembling fragile, dry twigs, waiting to be effortlessly obliterated by your digestive enzymes the moment it touches your saliva. This is drastically opposed to the tightly compacted linear defense of amylose. Our ultimate mission today is not to banish the potato in fear, but to completely intercept and manipulate this violent amylopectin breakdown, turning a biological weapon into a tool of profound healing. Collaborated to understand how we transform this fragile, explosive starch into an unbreakable biological fortress, we must first look at the profound alchemy of temperature. The secret to neutralizing the potato does not happen in the oven. It happens in the cold, silent depths of your refrigerator. When you subject a potato to intense heat through boiling or baking, those loose, twig-like structures of amylopectin absorb water, swell, and violently burst open. If you were to eat the potato right at this very moment, fresh and steaming, you would be willfully triggering the exact glycemic catastrophe we just discussed. Your digestive enzymes would rush in, effortlessly snipping those exposed starch molecules into pure glucose. But if you practice the profound discipline of patience, if you take that cooked potato and place it in the refrigerator for 24 hours, a breathtaking molecular miracle occurs. As the temperature drops, the chaotic, exploded starch molecules are forced to aggressively reorganize themselves. They seek stability in the cold, tightly binding together to form rigid, crystalline structures. This process is known in clinical biochemistry as starch retrogradation. You have literally forced the potato to mutate, converting a massive portion of its highly digestible starch into what is scientifically termed resistant starch type 3. This newly forged structure is so incredibly dense and complex that human digestive enzymes are completely powerless against it. It acts exactly like a heavy-duty soluble fiber. Instead of dissolving into your bloodstream as toxic, spiking sugar in the small intestine, it safely bypasses this zone entirely. It travels intact down into your colon, where it becomes the ultimate feast for your microbiome. The beneficial bacteria in your gut ferment this resistant starch, producing short-chain fatty acids like butyrate, which radically reduce systemic inflammation, heal the gut lining, and profoundly improve your body's sensitivity to insulin. You have taken a sugar bomb and transformed it into a powerful gut-healing medicine, all by simply letting it get cold. But simply altering the physical temperature of the potato is only the first phase of our biochemical rebellion. We must now deploy powerful chemical armor to completely neutralize the digestive enzymes waiting in your gut. Enter the strategic application of dietary lipids and organic acids. Even after retrogradation, a portion of the potato remains digestible, and our goal is absolute metabolic suppression. When you take your chilled, resistant starch-packed potato and coat it in a high-quality fat, like cold-pressed extra virgin olive oil or pure grass-fed butter, you are wrapping the remaining carbohydrates in an impenetrable molecular slick. Fats are digested incredibly slowly. By binding the potato in lipids, you violently hit the brakes on a process called gastric emptying. The stomach is forced to release the food into your small intestine at a grueling, agonizingly slow pace, ensuring that whatever glucose is produced enters your blood as a gentle, manageable trickle rather than a violent flood. But we do not stop there. The ultimate coup de grace against blood sugar spikes is the introduction of a potent acid, such as raw apple cider vinegar or freshly squeezed lemon juice. This is where you become a true molecular hacker. The primary enzyme responsible for breaking down starch in your body is called alpha amylase. Alpha amylase is highly sensitive to pH levels. It requires a neutral environment to function efficiently. By drenching your potato salad in a sharp, acidic vinaigrette, you temporarily plunge the pH of your digestive tract. The acid acts as a biological stun gun, temporarily blinding and paralyzing the alpha amylase enzymes. They simply cannot snip the starch bonds efficiently in this hostile, acidic environment. By combining the physical armor of cold-induced retrogradation with the chemical suppression of fats and acids, you have successfully engineered a carbohydrate that your body must labor for hours to process, completely sparing your pancreas from the terrifying burden of an insulin surge. Even with this newly forged, armored carbohydrate sitting on your plate, the ultimate success of this biological intervention dictates exactly when and how it crosses your lips. This brings us to the profound, yet entirely ignored science of food sequencing. It is a fatal error to believe that the stomach is merely a blender that mixes everything together equally. Your digestive system is a highly sensitive, sequential processing plant, and the order in which food enters your mouth fundamentally alters your hormonal response. If you eat the potato first, even a cooled and dressed one, it lands on an empty stomach floor, and the digestive process begins immediately, unhindered. To achieve true glycemic mastery, you must build a protective, fibrous mesh inside your stomach before the carbohydrate ever arrives. You must always consume your vegetables and your high-quality proteins first. Imagine eating a massive plate of dark, leafy greens, broccoli, and a piece of wild-caught salmon or pasture-raised chicken. As this fibrous, protein-heavy mass digests, it literally coats the mucosal lining of your upper intestine. It acts as a thick, physical sponge. By the time you finally eat your potato at the very end of the meal, it lands squarely on top of this dense, slow-moving biological barrier. The glucose cannot easily touch the intestinal walls to be absorbed. Furthermore, the presence of protein triggers the release of GLP-1, a miraculous satiety hormone that alerts your pancreas to begin slowly, gently preparing a measured dose of insulin long before the starch even begins to break down. You are no longer surprising your pancreas with a sudden sugar attack. You are giving it a polite, biological warning. This strategic delay means that the glucose curve on your blood monitor will not resemble a terrifying, jagged mountain peak, but rather a soft, rolling, harmless hill. Mastering these sequence protocols gives you unprecedented control over your metabolic fate, proving once and for all that you are not a helpless victim of your aging biology. For too long, the medical industry has profited off your fear, convincing you that as you grow older, your only options are extreme deprivation, tasteless diets, or a lifetime dependency on expensive, synthetic pharmaceuticals. They told you the potato was your enemy, a toxic entity that would inevitably destroy your health because they lacked the time, the depth, and the fundamental respect to teach you how your own body actually works. But today, you have stepped behind the curtain and shattered that illusion. You now understand that food is not merely calories or arbitrary numbers on a glycemic chart. It is raw, programmable information. With the simple, mindful application of time, temperature, fats, acids, and sequencing, you possess the elite capability to rewrite that biological code. You can strip the danger from the foods you love, transforming them into vehicles of healing, nourishment, and profound vitality. You do not have to live in fear of your dinner plate, and you absolutely do not have to surrender to the grim, conventional narrative of metabolic decline. The power to heal your cellular fish tank, to soothe the desperate cries of your exhausted pancreas, and to completely reverse the tide of insulin resistance has been hiding in your kitchen all along. It is not about eliminating the joy of eating. It is about outsmarting the chemistry of the food itself. If this revelation has empowered you, if you feel the heavy chains of dietary anxiety finally breaking, I urge you to stand with us in this health revolution. Share this deep biochemical truth with someone you love. Continue to question the dogmas handed down to you, and together, let us reclaim the vibrant, unshakable health that is our absolute biological birthright. The journey from fearing carbohydrates to mastering them is rooted in profound biochemical empowerment. We have discovered that a simple potato is not a guaranteed blood sugar spike, but rather a malleable food matrix waiting for your instructions. By leveraging the science of starch retrogradation through the simple act of refrigeration, we force explosive amylopectin to mutate into an unbreakable, gut-healing resistant starch. But we do not stop at temperature alone. We deploy a strategic chemical barrier, combining high-quality lipids like olive oil or grass-fed butter with the enzymatic suppression of acidic elements like apple cider vinegar. This combination acts as a metabolic brake, violently slowing gastric emptying and paralyzing starch-cleaving enzymes. Finally, we implement the elite strategy of food sequencing. By prioritizing fiber-rich vegetables and proteins before carbohydrates, we build a physical sponge in the upper intestine, further blunting any potential glucose absorption while triggering satiety hormones that prepare the pancreas for a gentle workload. Together, these strategies prove that you are not at the mercy of aging or a broken metabolism. Food is programmable information. You hold the power to outsmart the very chemistry of your meals, transforming previously feared carbohydrates into powerful medicine for your microbiome. You no longer have to endure extreme dietary deprivation or fear your dinner plate. Through mindful application of time, temperature, and sequence, you can reclaim your metabolic health, soothe your pancreas, and rewrite your biological destiny right in your own kitchen. The deepest truth revealed here is that our biology is not a fixed, declining trajectory, but a highly responsive system that reacts to the precise sequence and state of our environment. We are not victims of the food we eat. We are the active architects of how our bodies process it. Knowledge is the ultimate antidote to dietary fear. Stop viewing meals merely as calorie counts and start treating them as strategic biochemical events. Starting today, when you prepare a carbohydrate-dense food like potatoes, rice, or pasta, cook it a day in advance and let it chill in the refrigerator overnight. When you are ready to eat, dress it with a healthy fat and a splash of acid, like lemon juice or vinegar. Most importantly, restructure your eating habits. Always consume your vegetables and your protein source first, leaving the carbohydrate for the absolute end of your meal. These small, deliberate shifts will completely protect your metabolic health without forcing you to sacrifice the foods you love. What is your favorite vegetable or protein source to eat first before diving into your carbohydrates? Please share your answer in the comments section below so our community can discover new ideas and get inspired by your meal strategies. If you found this information valuable and want to keep taking control of your health, please hit the subscribe button to support the channel. Your support gives us the incredible motivation to continue creating profound, life-changing content for you.